going on, party people? This is your voice in the wilderness, Pastor William Dallas. How y'all feeling? Today we're going to talk about something really quick. There's some decisions we've made. There's some stuff we want to talk about, and it's been a very interesting week for us. I want to say hi to my wife and all the people that are around that want to talk about it. We're going to go to 2 Timothy, and we're going to talk about, and it's really, guys, if I be a prophet, so the church has changed and is changing. My wife and I were up looking at something last night on Instagram, and I'm not a real big think that Instagram is the end all and be all and all that other stuff. But I do know that there is always a basis of truth for anything that is taking place. So, it was an interesting thought process. So we're going to go to 2 Timothy, and we're going to talk about some things. Today I want to share with you where we're going in the body of Christ. Before I do that, there are a couple of decisions that I've made when it comes to the broadcast. And one of the decisions that I made when it comes to the broadcast is my 9 o'clock morning shows are not going to be 30 minutes anymore. We're going to make some changes, and some of those changes you'll understand. And some of you would say, "Well, I don't understand why we do this," but they're not going to be morning shows anymore. 9:30 in the morning shows anymore. 9 to 9:30 in the morning shows anymore. We're going to shift that. Now, you'll get some information on that. We got a lot of shows going on and a lot of things happening. And when those things happen, and I want to talk about this as well. I love Romans. When pressure begins to happen in your organization, you have to figure out, is the pressure to push you out or to push you in? And a lot of times what happens to us, if something changes the way we look or puts pressure on us, we think it's a way to push us out instead of pushing us in. I've realized over the years that it's to push us in. And so within that same situation, I'm going to attempt to push you guys in. I don't need you to step out, because you are not going to win the battle trusting the pressure. You're never going to trusting the pressure that you're not adequate to do it. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but let me say it like this. Romans the 8th chapter, and I go back to 2 Timothy. Romans the 8th chapter and the 5th verse, it says, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For the carnal mind is death, but the spiritual mind is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the laws of God, neither indeed can be. So then they are that are in the flesh can't please God." That kind of hit me out. And the reason that it hit me is because we battle these great fights and we go through these great things. And the challenge that we have is we always resort to the carnal thought process. God, are you trying to get rid of me? God, are you mad at me? What we love, we want to hold on to, what we want to let go of, and what we think is happening to us personally. We look at like, oh my God, this happened to me. I can't believe this happened to me. I can't believe that has happened to me. Guys, that is what church has taught us. Church has taught us that the devil is after me. He's after my praise. He's after my church. He's after my family. He's after, and when we limit the big picture, it becomes a weight on us. It becomes a pressure on us. This morning, as for example, I got up this morning and I realized that what I'm doing is not just about, is somebody watching me or somebody following me. What I'm doing is placing an alarm on what's going on in our body, what's in the body of Christ, what's going on in our system. The situations with T.I. and Kanye West, and there's some other stars. Those two people have decided to stand up. Now, I made this comment, and I'll make this comment again and again. You can really tell whether somebody really wants to do something for God, or if they're just finding that the limelight is a lot better because my old limelight is not good. I'm always going to I've always made an invitation to those people that say, hey, I really want to know about the things of God. I really want to get into what God is doing. Hey, meet me someplace. Call me up and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about some of the truths that you're probably not going to get in corporate religion. But if we define our existence by corporate religion, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get corporate religion. People asking for money. People trying to help you get you to help them with their building fund. Really not concerned about the people. People that don't go out and do something for the community. You're going to get that level of people because you are dealing with corporate religion. And so when I get up this morning, I realize I have to make sure that what I'm offering you is what you guys need. And I got to make sure it's what God is giving you from me. It's that thing. And so when I looked at that thing, I had to understand, and you need to understand, that what you're going through is so much bigger than you. It's so much bigger than you, A. But number two, the endurance and the strength that you have to make it through is insurmountable. You really don't know what you can make it through to win and the victories you can gain because you are tied to the things around you. You're tied to your escape clause, the people that may have money, people that you don't have money. You're tied to the things that look like money. You're tied to things that church has said you're supposed to have. You're tied to all these things. You're tied to who watches you on Instagram, who watches you on Facebook. You're tied to making sure the whole world sees you. And because you're tied to that thing, you find yourself in a position where when that doesn't happen, it has something to do with God. I'm doing a research. I'm doing I should say a research paper on the beginning of the charismatic movement. And it's not really the beginning of the charismatic movement. This has been around a lot longer than we have, but there was a resurgence in the charismatic movement. And the resurgence in the charismatic movement lined up with something very key when it came to the African American community. And we don't know that. But here's the deal. You are now fighting against something that's older than what you considered to bind you. Now, and what do I mean by that? People say, well, they brought us over slavery and they gave us religion over slavery. Religion came before slavery even knew anything that was going on. Constantine, religion basically transitioned through Alexander the Great and Constantine in 200 years. But anyway, that's another story. And so what happens is you're now battling this thing. And the key is, here's what's interesting. The battle that we're having right now with religion, and I mean from beginning to the end, the battle we're having with religion is an obstacle to relationship. Figuring out something bigger. Now, so what I'm saying to you, and this is I need you to follow me. I'm going to use this as an example. It's like getting a flat tire and then blaming the tire company for making a tire that is substandard. Then going back to the history of the tire and saying, you know what, rubber is bad. And if we stop using rubber, maybe we'll get better cars. And then going back to the pack and say, wait a minute, who designed round tires? Why weren't they oblong or oval? You follow me? You're so distracted on all the details of the thing that you're dealing with that you're not putting a tire on the car and moving forward. Now, am I denying that all these other things happen? No, but I begin to pay attention to the bigger picture. And when I paid attention to the bigger picture, I realized that this was one of the most major distractions of any distraction in the entire world. I realized that we were caught up in something that was so big that everything in our life has been inundated or contaminated or poisoned by it. And so now what we're trying to do is get ourselves back together, because the basis of this thing was about hearing the truth. That's the basis of the whole thing, about hearing the truth. It wasn't about hearing it from Jesus or hearing it from Malcolm or hearing it from I can't think of the guy from the Mormon church. It wasn't about hearing it from Allah or hearing it from Muhammad. It was about hearing the truth. And the problem that we've had is religion has now turned the truth into something that is a tool against each other. So instead of just saying the tire is off and putting the tire back on the car, we want to stand there and debate where the tire came from. We want to debate who created the tire. We want to debate whether I know more about tires than you do. And we want to get into the situation. Just recently, I'm watching these people popping up going, hey, we need churches. I want to start a church. But see, the key was not starting the church. The key is starting a change. And see, when we get to starting a change, we see that this thing is a whole lot bigger than can I establish 4 walls and get some people there. Yes, there are people, and if you go to Ephesians, there are people that are called to gather people together. There are people that are called to teach people. There are people that are called to build things. But if they're not connected, I build a building with no people in it. You have people with no building. I have teaching with nobody to teach. You follow me? And so now what we have is these people that want to be defined by the callings and the tags that they carry. Your life should be no tags, no titles. But I'm going to go on and read this thing in 2 Timothy. And then I'm going. Now, verse 2 Timothy, the 4th chapter, verse 2 says this: preach the word, instant in season and out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. For their time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but they will of their own lust shall heap up to themselves teachers having itching ears, and shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall turn unto fables. That's religion 101. We do not want to hear the truth. And the reason we do not want to hear the truth is the fact that the truth will make us uncomfortable with the stuff that we've gathered over the years and said it was religion and said it was God. There's a bunch of people right now saying, well, there's no such things as prophets anymore. Now, that's because you haven't experienced a prophet. I am a prophet. I am a prophet's prophet. I stay connected to God. I have no choice. He created me. There are people that say there are no more miracles. I've seen miracles. The key that has become, we want somebody that scratches that itch, whether it's the truth or whether it's not the truth. We don't want to research because everything you were told was a lie. I got that. I get that. But the key that comes to everything that was told that was a lie, T.I., is the fact that you live the basis of that lie to create the life that you have. And instead of saying, take this lie or whatever I've learned and make a better world, I'm trying to make a better life for me or become a voice for more lies. That's my word for today. That's all I want to talk about today. These broadcasts are going to be 15 minutes. I'm going to share them with everybody that wants to hear it and share them so that you can get to a point where you can understand and hear what God is trying to say to you. Because most of us want to be free, but we don't want the truth to be free. See, because the truth is a man that looketh in the mirror and turn away and forget what he sees. The truth is we are getting to the point that we are distracted by the simplest things. And then when we're distracted, we complain to everybody else about what's going on in our lives. We don't take religion or God seriously. He becomes an afterthought. We want to hold on to stuff that makes us feel like we are valuable or makes us feel like we are still relevant. So we do things to make us feel relevant and to look relevant when in actuality, you are relevant. It is really blowing my mind watching the people in Hollywood trying to make themselves more beautiful so they can be relevant when they don't understand that some of them are turning into more beautiful people. There are people I know right now that, and not to say who's ugly, who's pretty. That's not what I'm saying. There are people right now that have aged so very well. So very well. And they're tucking and pulling and tightening because they want to look young. When in actuality, The young season is over. I would not want to be a child in this day and age, in this season. I wouldn't want to be young. What I would want to be in this day and age is somebody that carries the truth. That's Divine Perspective. My name is Pastor William Dallas. You know what? I'm changing that. It's Prophet William Dallas, a prophet for this season. This is Divine Purpose, seeing your life from a spiritual viewpoint. All right? You guys have a wonderful one. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. I will see you guys tomorrow, 9 to 9:15. And make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video. And make sure you tell everybody about it, because it's time for us to be free. And there is a voice that speaks the truth.